Hey guys, welcome back to Fourth Wall Reactions. Today I am excited to get back to some Black Sails. Last episode left off on, I think, a cliffhanger because Eleanor and Vane came face to face for the first time in months. Months! Crazy old Hornigold is chasing after Silver, who I guess now is kind of Captain Silver. He's the captain of the ship while Flint is off the ship, which I don't think he knows very much about actually captaining the ship. So we're going to see how this goes. Jack was rescued and Billy is going to go shake things up in the town, try to change the tide in their favor, get everybody riled up. But with the walrus being out chased by Hornigold, I'm not sure how Jack and Flint and all the I need to get back to this. Let's check it out.
Mind me asking who has the key? Neptune. Threw it over the side a few hours ago. Charles Vane's sacrifice is in that box. If your man is unsuccessful in seeing to his rescue, Charles Vane's death, it's inside that box. All the awful sacrifices made to assemble that box are now part of its contents, and those things are sacred things that I trust in no man's hands. Captain, it's time.
Time for what?
I understand that the sentence for my crimes is to be hanged by the neck until dead. That in exchange for this plea, I might be spared the humiliation of a public trial.
Oh.
That my execution be carried out privately and mercifully. We'll see to it that it is heard favorably. Your experience in London will be short and dignified.
You came all the way down here to ask me to beg for mercy. The only crime of mine that angers you is the one that no one else cared enough about to even call a crime. Am I wrong? He was a cowardly, selfish, treacherous shed who cared only for himself and for you not at all. He betrayed you, Eleanor. Promised to exchange your life for his. That is who your father was, Eleanor. And you know it's true.
Jeez. Guards.
No soul is moving on from you, and so am I. Open up.
If they can hear her and didn't come in at all during that loud confrontation. Well, that went well.
He collapsed after you left.
Oh.
I believe his fever is worsening. I will do what I can.
Got some, internal bleeding going on?
Until I'm able to recover my health, I'll ask that all information you need to relay to me be done through Miss Guthrie here.
I beg your pardon, my lord.
On this issue, I need no counsel, Mr. Soames. Thank you.
We miss her mark. As little as a boat's length, it could be catastrophic.
Oh.
He knows.
He's aware. Like, I love watching sequences like this because I have no idea of. Oh, cool shot. Okay, Hornigold. He's like.
Jesus.
Did you inform him of this plan to sequester him?
No,
Why not?
because he looked at me and addressed me as Sarah. He thought I was his wife.
Oh, she knows. I did not know that she
He
knew.
was delirious with fever. If his condition changes, please send word.
Or is that how she found out?
You will have people on both sides of it. You will have daughters on both sides of it. And I want you to know.
You.
Ah, make me cry.
The governor wants them to believe that Charles Vane is the cause of all their ill. His task is to start reminding everyone there's someone else out there that they're far more comfortable hating.
Oh. Was that a meaningful cut?
That the law and order promised by the new regime is little more than a veneer.
behind which Eleanor Guthrie has returned to settle old scores. A little time spent confronting the past may be the lesser evil.
I can't believe this is a coincidence. Plot to steal the cash, followed so closely by something as choreographed as this.
Should be careful. I understand the governor has tasked you with being his eyes and ears where he convalesces. He would be wise to make sure whatever happens to Captain Vane, whose men have no reason to believe it happened because of you.
I've never given a damn what people think of me. But I give a damn what you think.
Believe that.
I hope that when you wake, you will understand why I did what I did. It was all I could think to do to protect you.
Just hanging. Isn't there a lot they had to do to get ready?
They say it shouldn't be long now before Mr. Scott leaves us.
No! Oh, I don't want that.
If you have something to add, you should just fucking say it.
Why you did it.
Really? Would you like to tell me why I did it?
In that moment, he gave you a look that amounted to something less than contrite. And in that moment, you felt it.
Felt what?
Darkness. Hate for showing indifference to the authority that you sacrificed so much to acquire. You heard a voice that sounded like reason, and there was reason to it, as the most compelling lies are comprised almost entirely of truth.
Gee.
Cloaks itself in whatever it must to move you to action. And the more you deny its presence, the more powerful it gets. And the more likely it is to consume you entirely without you ever even knowing it was there. You must learn to know its presence well, so that you may use it, rather than it use you.
You have some experience with this, I imagine. Living in fear of such a thing within you.
Yeah, I do.
A little bit.
I can't tell if this was a warning or a welcome.
No, no, no. Oh.
I'll need to make an offering at his burial. Something of mine that he can take with him.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Don't want to make it any more than just a friend comforting another friend. But I'm getting shippy, man. I'm getting shippy.
The governor has scrapped his plans to move Captain Vane off the island and then scheduled an accelerated trial for the captain here in Nassau.
Oh.
Shit. When have they scheduled it to begin?
In the middle of the night. Last night. It's already happened.
What?
They appointed a judge, they impaneled a jury. It was over before anyone knew it began.
Where's Vane now?
Still in the fort, but when I left the street, they were carrying the timber to assemble a gallows in the square. They mean to hang him today.
Oh my god.
If the bargain changes, there is no telling what else will change as a result. What trust may be lost, and what chaos may abound. But as your friend, I am simply asking you to consider how treacherous this road may be, while there is still time to avoid it.
This is no attempt to circumvent the law. Indeed, the governor felt that it was necessary in order to protect it. It was a hard choice, but an earnest one.
Did he really make that choice, or was that you? I mean, because Woodes Rogers seems completely out of it.
It'll be loud, confusing. Men who have never experienced fear seem to know it for the first time.
Are they really gonna hang him?
Surely a man like you has faced death before, but never so nakedly. I understand you believe your violence is justified in the name of a defiance of tyranny. But there are mothers who buried their sons because of you, wives widowed because of you. What kind of a man can experience no remorse from this?
Whatever remorse I have or do not have is my own. And whatever I have to say to God, I'll tell him myself, not at all.
Today marks the silencing of the most disruptive of those voices. No relish in this moment,
What?
but there is right righteousness.
What? They're like communing. What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
God's will be done
Really?
in Nassau.
We are many. They are few. And they can't hang us all. Get on with it, motherfucker.
Billy,
It's all right.
He shook his head. Ah! Oh! Oh! I'm sorry. I can't.
why?
It was the only way to start it.
Start what?
Look at them.
Became a martyr for the cause.
I will not go into battle alongside undisciplined conscripts. The force I bring to bear is sufficient to combat whatever awaits us.
Jesus, he wants the force you bring to bear. He wants it. If you allow him to dictate the terms of battle, you court a disastrous outcome. If he expects your force, then we must send that which he does not expect.
Is this Blackbeard? Are we back?
The word is spreading throughout the Bahamas that the governor of Nassau hanged a pirate in the square. The pirate he hanged in the square, to underscore his point, was Charles Vane.
Oh! Oh!
What do you want to do about it?
Response? Ah! So between recordings, the past couple of episodes, this show, it really is about Flint and Billy Bones, and I know sort of the characters that Treasure Island, all this stuff. I've been thinking lately about how interesting it is that they brought in Blackbeard at this stage of the story, not just like, at this late stage of the overall show, but that the story takes place at a certain time, and it's sort of past Blackbeard's, it's not the story of Blackbeard. He's already become a name. He seems to be kind of like winding down. He wanted a successor in Charles Vane. He lost the fight against Flint. Not in really a fair way. He lost a fight against Vane himself. But, he just is not in his prime anymore. It's kind of like Blackbeard the later years. So I was thinking about, just sort of why they brought him in at this stage. Other than to bring him in and have it be this fun crossover Easter egg of, more than an Easter egg. Oh, it's Blackbeard, and they brought him in just sort of as a way to explore more historical characters and just give you a glimpse of what they're about. And I didn't know if he would be back in the story, because I felt like initially he was there as sort of a catalyst for Charles Vane. Like, it wasn't really about Blackbeard, it would be about Vane. But I love that they ended with that moment, because of course Blackbeard, Edward Teach, is gonna just lose it. This is the spark, I think, that really brings him in on his own as a character. I think that's where we're going, given how this ended. Blackbeard's gonna be like, no, oh no. As we go into the last episode of the season, I fully expect him to show up to this fight and throw down. So I think that's where we're going. Now, as far as losing Charles Vane goes, another thing that I've been thinking about, these things just pop into my head in between episodes, but just thinking of where this show is going as a whole. I've sort of kind of touched on it in commentaries that I've done the past couple episodes, but then deleted it because we're not there yet. But I think now we're getting there. All of these historical characters and this whole fight for Nassau independence and a pirate nation and a pirate king. We know from history that it doesn't happen. I mean, we know these historical characters were captured and hanged or beheaded or whatever their sentence was. I remember reading about Anne Bonny's real ending. I just don't know at what point the show is going to get there, or it's still a work of fiction. They don't have to follow what happened in history. I mean, they have creative license to do whatever they want to do. So in just sort of wondering how this show is going to wrap up this season and then wrap up the next season, the final season, I've just been wondering about that. I didn't really expect Vane to go so soon. I say soon, it's the next to last season, but I mean, I kind of thought they'd all kind of be in it until the end, but you just never know. I think for me, I'm really interested in seeing if they follow sort of the real life things that happen, or if they, how they may change it to tell the story that they want to tell. It is a bad look to switch up the laws, for a governing force to come in and impose laws upon people who were fairly lawless to begin with. But then also to say, well, we're doing this because we feel like it. We're going to do it this way because it's more convenient for us. It's more expedient. Now, it's of an age where that is more common because, I mean, there are still kings, there are still monarchs, there are still governing forces that we can change the rules if we want to. I mean, it does, the hypocrisy of all the other pirates on the island just strikes me. It's like they got their pardons, so they're protected, so they're jeering at him like, oh, you horrible person. Like, you've sailed with him, you've worked with him, hypocrites. Ultimately, I think that Vane really understood sort of the overall temperature of the situation. He was willing to let this go through, and I think he knew what might happen. I'm sorry I couldn't watch that hanging, even fake hangings. I can't watch. It's no. A conversation with the also very hypocritical pastor in the cell also really gave me pause, because throughout this whole show, every now and then I make a crack like, but you're a pirate. Somebody gets upset that they've been double-crossed, or someone didn't come through, or someone changed their stripes and changed loyalties. And, I've always kind of gone, but, hello, you're a pirate, and that's, you may have a kind of code, but obviously people do this work outside of the code a lot. But it is interesting how they see themselves, and how the pastor sketched out how Vane sees himself, as all the violence is justified because we are rebelling against tyranny. I don't think any of these pirates kid themselves that they are doing something heroic or altruistic. I mean, I think they believe that's in part why they're doing it. But they know they're breaking laws. They know that they're criminals. They're aware of this. They're aware of how they are seen by other people. But I think maybe because they see themselves as working for this cause, that it justifies this. I don't think they're kidding themselves, in that they think that they are sacrificing themselves for a larger purpose. They know they're criminals. It's just a fascinating look at how they see themselves and how they justify their actions. Although in this case, Vane has sacrificed himself for a cause against tyranny, a cause against rule. This show has you rooting for pirates. In part because they let you into their heads and let you get to know them as people, as human beings, and see their viewpoints. It's just a long-winded, roundabout way of saying I appreciate the storytelling allowing you to give a 360 view of all the viewpoints of the different characters, whether you agree with them or not. Like, I have never loved Vane. He's never been my favorite character or the character that I'm rooting for. I do think that he was splendidly played I think his portrayal was very compelling. I always love when Zach McGowan's on screen because he's really good. Even if Vane was never my favorite character, I'm really going to miss his presence. He definitely was a force of nature in this tale, and now he's gone, and that is going to be so weird. Weird. And then I lose Mr. Scott. Every time they did show him, they went back to him, and it was, he was not getting any better. And I kind of saw the writing on the wall, but I was like, oh no. I'm really sad to lose Mr. Scott. I think that flipping of the script with him, like revealing him to be this behind-the-scenes player and everything, I wish we'd gotten more of that, sort of more foreshadowing for it, more information about it. But I was happy with the story that I got with Mr. Scott. And I was always happy when he was included in the plots, and I always loved him from the beginning. So I'm gonna miss him in this show. They're slowly taking away everybody, so I think maybe it is going to end with like the complete destruction of this culture. So R.I.P. Vane and R.I.P. Mr. Scott. I just have to wonder, because every shot they show us of Woodes Rogers is he is really out of it, how much of this actually came from him and how much of it was Eleanor. And I really call bullshit on Eleanor saying, I never give a damn what people thought of me. You always gave a damn what people thought of you. You had to pretend like you didn't give a damn what people thought of you to play the role of the tough leader. I think she gave a damn what people thought of her. I think she didn't act on what people thought of her. I think she acted in defiance of what people thought of her. I don't think what people thought of her dictated what she did or said, but I think that I think it affected her, clearly. I think she tried for it not to. But anyway, I call bullshit her saying that to the comatose governor. But the thing is, I think in this fight to come, she does know Flint really well. She knows how Flint thinks. So I don't discount that. I also don't know about this role of Jack taking Vane's place in Flint's plan, or taking DeGroote's place, since DeGroote took Vane's place. Because Jack acquiring his captainship, either, was it just last season, or was it the start of this season? No, it was last season. I mean, he was really inexperienced in sort of dictating how the ship functioned, and I know that he's learned and he's picked up, but I don't know. I question his experience in that area. So that makes me a little bit nervous. So yeah, there's probably more to talk about, but I'm kind of like reeling from this turn that has taken place. I'm just really excited to go into this final episode. I think that Blackbeard is gonna come roaring back. Other than that, I have no hard and fast predictions of what's going to go on. Even though Eleanor knows Flint's mind very well, I still think that these characters are fairly unpredictable in what they may or may not do. I think I talked about that a few episodes ago of, people laying out their plans, and it's all based upon what they think the other person might do. And then the other person surprises them and says, nope, I'm not doing that. Flint is very clever. He has a lot of cunning. He has a lot of experience in battle. So who knows? Who knows how this could all play out. But I'm really excited to see it. Oh, thanks so much for watching this with me, you guys. If you enjoyed the reaction, please feel free to give it a like, a share, and a subscribe. Full reactions are on Patreon, and be sure to join me for the next episode, final episode of Season 3. Thanks for watching. Bye.